Aloha, I'm Kiana Cayabyab, and here are today's top news headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. The Hawaii Department of Health has released its long-awaited benchmarks to help state public school officials decide when campuses can reopen to in-class instruction. Dr. Sarah Kimball, the state's acting epidemiologist, announced the guidelines today at a news conference with Governor David Ige and School Superintendent Christina Kishimoto. Kimball said a key threshold will be the number of positive COVID cases per 10,000 people on each island over a 14-day period. When the 14-day case counts fall below 5, in-class instruction would be advised for both elementary and secondary schools. But when 14-day case counts exceed 35 infections, all students would be learning from home. Superintendent Kishimoto said that public schools would start transitioning to a blended learning model after the fall break next month. But how each school transitions to in-class instruction will depend on COVID conditions in that school's area. To read the full state guidelines, go to staradvertiser.com. State health officials today reported 4 new coronavirus-related deaths and 160 new infections statewide. All 4 deaths were on Oahu. The state has counted 107 fatalities since the beginning of the pandemic, but it has still not verified another 14 reported deaths on the Big Island. Hawaii County officials say a total of 17 people with COVID-19 have died on the Big Island, all but one of them at the Yukio Okutsu State Veterans Home in Hilo. There have now been more than 11,000 COVID-19 infections in Hawaii since the beginning of this pandemic. State health officials also reported 18 more coronavirus hospitalizations today and said there are currently a total of 6,750 active infections statewide. Finally, Honolulu election officials said today that they will be mailing out ballots earlier than expected next month because of possible delays from the U.S. Postal Service. Ballots will start being mailed to Oahu registered voters on October 5th to ensure timely delivery for the general election on November 3rd. The U.S. Postal Service recently warned Hawaii and 45 other states that it could not guarantee that all ballots sent by mail for the November 3rd election would arrive in time to be counted. Hawaii is holding all mail elections this year for the first time. The state's primary election last month went smoothly with no major problems with the mail-in balloting system. For the general election, voters are encouraged to return their ballots early, either through the mail or at the designated ballot drop boxes. For more information and a list of ballot drop boxes, go to honoluluelections.us.gov. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, and we'll see you tomorrow.